Hi guys, on this show we're looking at Innes, Fisher, Nunez, Atkinson, Cardellini, Lillard, Geller and Prince Jr. We're looking at 2002's Scooby Doo.
Hello everyone, that's right, we're back. It's your boys, John and Plenty, 100 Things We Learned from Film podcast. I am, of course, Plenty, and I'm pissing all over Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh my god, I didn't see that bit. And I'm John, and I'm the scrappy do of this outfit.
Okay, you scrappy little do that you are. It's been a few weeks, mate. How you doing?
I am alright. It's weird seeing your little semi-tanned face.
Indeed it is, yeah. It's good to be back, sang somebody that
No,
we're
no,
not
no,
allowed
no.
to sing
Don't-
anymore.
Don't go there.
We're there, John. We are less than 10 episodes before hitting that century, which
God.
we all know what that means for the people.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm so excited. We should probably be there about Christmas if we keep our shit together.
Yeah, I think we were fine.
Christmas, New Year. Yeah, as long as we manage to fucking keep the episodes coming and keep it tight. But this week we are talking about Wet.
2002's Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo. Now, if you are a patron and you give us £1 a month, as little as £1 a month, you can give more if you want. Please give more. If you give £1 a month, that's great. Give some fucking more. We like money. We want to spend it on some fucking. I want to just turn it into fucking like pound notes. You remember that? Was there like a KLF ad?
Aye,
do a video. Yeah. Well, let's do that, but with like the I don't know, the 60 quid we've got in the Patreon account. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, if you up it, listeners, we'll once we get to 100, we'll just burn it on video or something. I don't know. I don't know how that works. That's what it'll be fucking worth by the time we get to 100. So patrons have picked this episode from a potential list. The list, for those that don't know, those that are listening and not patrons, the list was the Addams Family, that Barry Sonnenfeld Addams Family that I had on VHS as a kid, Casper, and something else that I can't remember what it was. It's completely gone out of my head. But those were the options that we had, and this one won. Oddly,
I'm sure they do it to wind us up, man.
No, they do. No, they absolutely do. They do it just to piss me off. But do you know what? Right, I've got to be honest. So there'll be another one of these coming next month, as well as we've got hours upon hours of me chatting shit with friends and of the podcast and just general pals and other patrons, talking about music, talking about TV shows, talking about films, loads of that stuff. It's all available. If you pledge £1 today, you can have all that straight away in your own RSS feed. But right, I've got to say, John, 2002. Not the worst year for film. Have we done any 2002 stuff? We must have.
So, if our lovely listeners would listen to our Bend It Like Beckham from 2002,
Joe!
He is having some banter with Joe.
Yeah, good stuff. That I'd learned loads there, especially about Kenyan Indians. Yeah, that was.
It was a great episode.
Yeah, it was a good episode. It was
if they listen to that, they can hear it. But the films from 2002.
Okay, great. Yeah, you're giving nothing away, are you?
Nah,
you're making
nothing.
You're making us. You're getting us the stuff. Anyway, of course, we're going to try and learn 100 things from this. John's watched it. I've watched it. I'm going to see what we come up with. Now, before we start, John, I've got to say this is aged pretty well, other than the CGI, which looks like fucking Scooby shit.
Yep. Scooby scrap. I like Rowan Atkinson in it. Was really good. I thought it was good.
Absolute highlight.
Mr. Beanish.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of shit films this week, John. I've got to be honest. None for the podcast either. Yeah, I've watched some absolute fucking garbage, spoopy season related stuff. Jesus. God. Anyway, we'll probably come to those as we go. So, I'll talk us through the film. Spoilers abound for a film that is 20 years old. 20 years old.
God.
Okay, we open and it's a Warner Brothers film. Warner Brothers film, the brothers Harry, Albert, Sam and Jack. The first three were born in Poland, and had Yiddish names, John. Yiddish names.
Did you get a dictionary out?
I didn't have to get the dictionary out because I had this in an article that I'd read about these boys. Samuel Wosnell became Samuel Warner, Sam Warner. Hiraz Wosnell, Harry Warner, and Aaron Wosnell became Albert. But Jack was actually born in Ontario.
Right.
So just Jack. Just Jack, 2000.
I was going to say that.
Famous films from the start of their films thing. The Rin Tin Tin movies of the 20s. I mean, that dog's been dead 90 years, John. 90.
I can't bear to think about it. You keep talking about these dead animals, man. It makes me...
I do. Al Jolson's 1927 The Jazz Singer.
Wolfed.
Captain Blood with Errol Flynn from 1935. And, right, you probably don't recognise it, but the Warner Brothers TV logo, which is kind of like a W, but made up of like little lines and a circle, was designed by the great Saul Bass, who did the posters for most of the best Hitchcock films.
All right, okay. It's a good emblem though. I've always had a thing for the Warner Bros. Emblem because a lot of things I used to watch when I was younger were Warner Bros. Like all the Looney Tunes stuff.
Yeah. Well, Animaniacs. I love Animaniacs. I just something about that is really kind of fourth wall breaking, and I've always been into that. I don't know. Anyway.
Pinky in the Brain.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. It also apparently tells us it's a Mystery Inc. film, and I was like, yawn already. Like, what does that mean to kids in like 2002? It means nothing, and it means nothing to me today. Yeah.
There was that Mosaic Media Group. Have you heard of these people?
I haven't, mate. No.
Company. All I know is they were founded in 1990 by Charles Robin, Eric Gold, and Jimmy Miller. But other than that, I can't really find much on it.
Jimmy Miller, I think he used to play for Man City. Thank you very much. We open at Wow Toys, which looked exactly like Axis Chemicals from that 89 Batman.
I've done it.
Yeah. Daphne's been kidnapped by the clown ghost bed out of The Simpsons.
Yep.
If you should die before you wake. There's a whole bunch of hijinks going on it. Now, look, this film is one of those kind of hijinks, everything happening at once kind of thing. And I'm just going to go, hijinks happened, and then we're going to move on, right? Because otherwise I'll be here all fucking day. Yeah. Scooby and Shaggy hiding in a barrel. Scooby's miming the ghost behind Shaggy. You know, classic Scooby Doo type stuff. The stuff that we love Scooby Doo as kids.
Oh, yeah.
And it works here. Like, Lilliard, and I'll get this out of the way now because I've written it probably about 4 or 5 times. Lilliard is the best actor in the whole of this thing.
Oh, yeah.
He's great, isn't he? Oh, you know, and at no point does he say, "I'll be right back."
No. He's got the voice down and all that. He's got the mannerisms down. He's got the sort of eating stoner.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? And that's the whole point of what they were, and he gets it, and the voice is great, Casey Kasem kind of voice, and he's acting basically against a fucking tennis ball, isn't he? Because that's all they do. They act against a fucking tennis ball where the eyes are. Velma has a plan, which Fred basically ruins. They've got this fire hose and a net, this whole kind of like fucking mousetrap setup that they're going to do. Shaggy and Scooby are careering around on a skateboard to some punk ska music because it's 2002 and Tony Hawk's games are still selling by the fucking shed load. Do you know what I mean?
They're still grinding. Not in the grinding kind of way now.
They capture the ghost in some pile of toys, and the mystery machine arrives, driven by who, John?
Oh, God, Spamela Anderson.
Yeah, right. Because 20 years ago...
She wasn't even blowing anybody in that truck as well, so...
She wasn't, indeed. Still look banging, though.
Oh, yeah, she's 55 now.
Is she?
I was looking that up just to double check, but she's 55 right now.
Okay. All these fans turn up, these news reporters turn up. They ask Fred how he did it, and he says, teamwork. He has an amazing amount of teamwork, which is going, okay. It was his plan. He takes the mask off the Phantom, and it's Old Man Smithers, John, the janitor.
Yeah, he's got a fandom page as well.
Oh, has he really? Right.
There's a Scoobypedia thing, and he's got a fan page.
Right. I hope you're sat down. I know you sat down. I can see that you sat down. Right.
Ready.
Old Man Smithers, John. This actor plays Old Man Smithers. I've written Hope here. His surname was Hope. Was born in 1958, which means at the time of release of this one, 1956, time of the release of this one, he was 46 years old, John.
Right. God.
How does that make you feel?
Jesus, that makes me feel like Old Man Smithers.
Yeah, you are Old Man Watson, is what it is. So fucking hell, that's like old, like these crazy kids and their old man. Yeah,
pesky kids.
He would have gotten away with it.
He looked really old as well, didn't he?
Exactly.
His helium suit that was the
his helium suit, and his eyebrows that quite blatantly they just put some talcum powder in.
Aye, yeah, just to age him up a bit.
Yeah. Outside, Mr. Inc. are all arguing. Daphne takes Velma's glasses, and we get the first of about 700 "my glasses" gags.
Yeah.
You know, her just drop it like somebody takes her glasses off of her face, and instead of reaching out for them, she drops to the ground to look for her glasses.
I know.
Anyway.
Her husband must be happy if... Oh, no.
Jinkies, John.
Better not go down that road. Just take her glasses off, she drops to her knees. Cut that back.
I'm not cutting that. It's staying in. Shaggy tries to calm them down with this great analogy about those big sandwiches that they used to eat in the cartoons, that they're all a different kind of thing on the sandwiches. Velma says she's quitting, and the rest of them say, not before we quit. And they all explain. Shaggy explains to Scooby that friends don't quit, and those two drive off together. So that'll come back at the end of the movie. Okay. We hear the Scooby Doo "Where Are You" song, right? It's from the show of the same name, Scooby Doo, Where Are You? Now, this is the Scooby Doo cartoon that I specifically mind from growing up. I don't know about you.
Mine. Yeah, that was my one as well.
But here's the thing. They made 41 episodes of Scooby Doo, Where Are You? Right?
What?
41. I must have seen every one of those episodes about 20 odd times in the 80s.
Sure did that, and I still couldn't guess who the bloody bad one was at the end.
Never.
You never get to see the baddie at the beginning. Have you ever seen the baddie at the beginning?
It's not Columbo, John.
I don't mean that. I mean you don't get to see the character anywhere prominently in the.
You do sometimes. Like they wrote, like they'll always like the Old Man Smithers of the amusement. Like park would get them in. I'm being terrorized by ghosts. Why the fuck would he do that? Unless it's an insurance scam or something. I assumed there were always insurance scams. Now I'm an adult.
Probably. I can't believe there's only 41 episodes. I felt as if I was watching that for through my 20s at least.
Yeah, me too. Just wait till I tell you about another Hanna-Barbera. I think it's going to blow you away, right? This, of course, is where we get the Shaggy we know, Kasem. The Shaggy voice from the cartoons. He hosted the US Top 40 from 1970 to 2009.
God, he was a radio disc DJ, wasn't he?
He was indeed, yeah. Now, I love that there's an outtake floating around the net. I've heard it a couple of times of him complaining that someone wants a dedication to a dead dog on the charts. Listeners, if you're going to hear that next, if I can find a playable version of it, I'm going to splice it in here.
Now, we're up to our long-distance dedication. And this one is about kids and pets and a situation that we can all understand, whether we have kids or pets or neither. It's from a man in Cincinnati, Ohio. And here's what he writes. Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's start again. From coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please. See, when you come out of those up-tempo goddamn numbers, man, it's impossible to make those transitions, and then you got to go into somebody dying. You know, they do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for, but goddamn it, if we can't come out of a slow record, I don't understand it. Is Don on the phone? Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication. Now, make it, and I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week. This is last goddamn time I want somebody to use his fucking brain to not come out of a goddamn record that's up-tempo, and I gotta talk about a fucking dog dying. Boy, this is fucking ponderous, man. Ponderous, fucking ponderous.
I assume, right, that the number of singles that we've talked about on this, that he and us must have some crossover. Like, he will have played and talked about a record that we've talked about on this podcast. Yeah. And I know it's stupid. It's a stupid connection, but you love a connection sometimes, don't you?
Well, God, aye. Oh, without a doubt.
Now, my question here is, John, before we move on, because I've missed a little bit here. My question here is, how many films/TV shows did Pamela Anderson star in 2002, do you think? Other than this, she was in this and a number of others. How many other properties was she in 2002?
I'd say all in, because when was Barbed Wire out?
Oh, like 95.
Oh, fuck that then. Yeah, she's done wee bits here and there and everywhere. I'm just going to say, have you got the number?
I have, yeah.
6.
2. She was in 2 other things, right? She was in an episode of King of the Hill and the final series of her TV show, VIP.
Oh my God.
Well, now, I haven't looked. I could have gone deep into VIP. Hello. But I didn't. I seem to recall it was about her and some babes doing bodyguarding.
Aye.
Like, very important plastic tits or something it was. I don't know what the joke was. But I did watch an alarming amount of that with my then girlfriend. And I'm going to put it down to the fact that not because I was a pervert, right? But I was. But also because, like, we're not in the golden age of TV that we're in now.
Oh, yeah.
Back then, all we had to watch was VIP and James Caan in Las Vegas. Do you remember that?
Aye, yeah.
With Fergie's husband in it.
I thought you were going to say that one with, what's his name? Hulk Hogan?
The Blue Paradise or whatever. Blue Thunder. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Oh, no, I love Blue Thunder.
The
Blue
90s, that one.
That was a helicopter one, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. This is fucking derailed already. Anyway, there we go. We skip forward to 2 years later. We're at the beach and we see the Mystery Machine. The Mystery Machine in this, by the way, John, was a 1972 Bedford CF.
You know, I get the cars.
You did well. Hey, look, I've got so few things, John, to get the cars. They had 2 of them for the making of this film.
Right.
Now, this is on the fucking nose, by the way, because the song in the background is Past the Duchy and smoke coming out the vent in the roof of the van, right?
Yeah.
The joke is that they're stoners, as you've pointed out, but they're actually barbecuing eggplant inside.
You know what I'm talking about. So I think the screenplay, James Gunn did the screenplay.
James Gunn did do the screenplay for this.
And he wanted it to be an R-rated movie, so maybe he would have got the stone.
Like, got them actually, like Scooby Snacks would have been.
Aye.
Like, oh man, could you imagine this? But Shaggy played by Method Man, and Scooby played by. I mean, it would be just How High, wouldn't it? Which, by the way, I think is a future episode.
Think so?
Yeah, How High I remember very, very well. But I also remember the one with Tupac Shakur and Mr. Orange, Tim Roth, quite fondly. But they're recovering heroin addicts. I don't think that's that funny. No. I don't think it's as funny as I remember it was.
Yeah, gotta get a lot of laughs.
Past the Duchy, 1982, song by A Musical Youth.
Right.
Number 1, John, in the UK, Australia, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, and your favourite, John?
The Netherlands.
Correct. Sadly, got to number 2 in West Germany. Listeners, are these getting a bit much? Are these a bit on the nose, listeners? Should I stop doing them?
No, they're facts.
All right. Okay.
But I remember watching that. I remember seeing a video for it in Newsround.
On Newsround, fucking hell! What a world we lived in. Yeah, John Craven, famous stoner.
Passing the Duchy on the right-hand side.
Yeah. And driving a Land Rover through the titles of Newsround. And for some reason, that's the only thing I remember about Newsround was his jumpers, and there's a Land Rover at some point.
Oh, aye.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
And Emmerdale.
Might be the same Land Rover. Listeners, help us out.
Please.
There's this guy banging on the door, right? And he asks for Mr. Rogers and Mr. Doo. This is, of course, a reference to the fact that Shaggy's real name is Norval Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they call him Shaggy Rogers, didn't
They
they?
do call him Shaggy Rogers. That's right. This chap's been sent by Mr. Montevarius, right? Which is great because they keep getting his name wrong. It's funny.
They really do.
With an invite to Spooky Island, Shaggy explains they don't go anywhere with spooky, scary, or creepy in the name anymore, and that they're no longer detectives. He offers them 10,000 US, room and board, airfare. None of this excites them until he offers what?
Free food.
All you can eat buffet. Now,
oh yeah,
I've got to say, right, having just come back from a hotel that offers a buffet, right, it gets very fucking tiring very quick, mate.
Aye.
If the food's shit, it gets very fucking bog standard shit, right?
Yeah.
So I would take the 10,000 US, especially now, considering that it's probably about 500 million pounds on the current exchange rate.
Oh well, it's slowly going up. At this point in time, trust is out and the pound is going up again.
Good. I hope she's blowing a dog in a ditch somewhere.
Oh,
it's
mate,
all she deserves.
Absolutely useless prick.
Yeah. 10,000 US in 2002 money is $16,498.50 of your American cents.
Done.
There you
Get
go.
some of that.
Not bad at all. At the airport, the gang's all there separately. Of course they are. Fred's been doing a lecture circuit on his book. Velma's at NASA, of course. And Daphne's upset she can't have 7 carry-on bags because she's not a fucking character.
She really isn't.
She's not a character. This, of course, is where Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar met. And Freddie Prinze Jr. did the right thing. Staying at home to look after the kids and left Sarah Michelle Gellar, the much better actor of the pair of them, to do that.
Yeah.
He also allowed her to write her cookbook. That's right, John. Sarah Michelle Gellar has a cookbook.
The buffet with Buffy?
Baking with Buffy. That would be a lot of fun if it was actually called that.
But it would all be steak all the time, wouldn't it? Steak.
A lot of garlic and everything. Jesus Christ.
Man, you tell this is just a jokes episode, man, because we've no fucking facts.
The book is called Stirring Up Fun, over 115 simple, delicious ways in the kitchen. £9.49 on Amazon if you really fucking must.
Go for it.
But good for her. Did you watch much Buffy, by the way?
No, never watched it. Wasn't a fan.
I have seen every fucking scene of that.
Watched the film.
One of the worst films I've ever seen. I hated the film. Doesn't do anything for me.
Rutger Hauer in it as well. What a waste of talent, man.
Yeah.
I want to suck your blood.
I don't think that was his impression. Rutger Hauer, where's he from? Do you know?
The future.
He is. He's a cyberpunk from the future. He's from the Netherlands. And the future.
Oh God, I watched this is totally derailing, but I remember watching the first thing I seen him in was a film with him and Pierce Brosnan about some sort of spy thing, and it was actually really, really good.
Okay. I remember my favourite Rutger Hauer films was the one where London has been flooded in the future and there's a monster in the subway.
Yep, and it's got Humphrey Taggart in it.
It has, yeah. I want to say that's called fucking Heavy Rain or something stupid.
Yeah, I remember it.
Blind Fury. I love Blind Fury and Wedlock.
Christ.
And I think he's probably stuck with her out of Escape from New York, Adrienne Barbeau, but I might just be conflating her with somebody else.
That might just be wishful thinking.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Anyway. They've all had the same invite. Daphne explains she's a black belt now, and she's a dangerous weapon, so they all snigger. Here comes Shaggy. Scooby is in this dress because big dogs aren't allowed on flights.
No.
Scooby Doo is a Great Dane, which is one of the largest breeds of dogs. that you can get today. As he comes in this dress, by the way, he looks like Big Mama's house, doesn't he?
Aye, he does a bit, doesn't he? As I saw, I thought.
Brick House is the song that's playing. She's a brick house. She's mad, maddy. Commodores from before they got fucking shit. From the self-titled album of 1970, which was oddly not called the Commodores in the UK. It was called Zoom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but nowhere else. The title's a play on the term built like a brick shithouse, which is fair enough. Number 5 in the USA, number 2 in New Zealand, and number 32 here, which is a real shame that it only made 32 because it's funky.
It really is funky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Waka, waka, waka.
On that subject, by the way, Big Mama's house, we've not talked about the director, Raja Gosnell, right? Who I was kind of like, Raja Gosnell, right? What kind of name is that? He has got to be Indian with a name like that. No, some white boy from California.
I told you he's in Batman. Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Started his career, John, as an editor, right? He is the editor on 9 Months, Miracle on 34th Street, the remake, Mrs. Doubtfire, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, previous episode, by the way, Pretty Woman, previous episode, Home Alone. Yeah, that's kind of what he did. His directing credits are... Jesus Christ. I'm going to make you feel a little bit sick here with some of these, right? Scooby Doo, Scooby Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, which I seem to remember is a better film than this. Beverly Hills Chihuahua, The Smurfs 2, Big Mama's House, Never Been Kissed, and Home Alone 3. Home Alone 3.
Was that even a thing? I don't think it was that.
Yeah, straight to
straight to VHS.
Yeah, straight to VHS.
Yeah, because I remember there was a wee brown-haired kid in it, and just because he was a more color Culkin, people just went, "I'm not watching this shite." And I don't think the Wet Bandits one, the Wet Bandits.
No, is that the one where
one of the baddies for RoboCop's in it though, if I remember right.
The bald guy that gets melted.
I think so.
Is it him? Yeah. Help me! Take me with you! Ah! Yeah. Is that that's exactly what happens, isn't it? The little fucking kid from Home Alone covers him in fucking toxic waste. Ah! Take me with you! Ah! And there's one of them where the bad guy is one of the. I think it's Home Alone 4. Is Kimmy Schmidt, and one of the other ones is the guy that played the idiot one in Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh, Harry?
Yeah.
Is it? Aye.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, fucking what? Yeah, he was Inspector Gadget in that second Inspector Gadget film. You know, when they decided that they didn't want Broderick because he was a fucking murdering bastard.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Too busy running people over.
French Stewart. That's what that actor's called.
So it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Two... I don't know, surname and first name the wrong way around. Do we have a theory about that, listeners? I don't think we do. But anyway, moving not swiftly enough on. Everybody thinks Scooby's a fox, by the way, in this. I couldn't figure out what looked like the biggest pile of shit here. Was it the 2002 CG or is it Fred's wig?
Maybe a bit of both, but I think he apparently had to wear a wig because he actually bleached his hair and it done so much damage to his hair that he had to shave his hair and put a wig on.
Oh, right. Okay. I did not have that. Good work, sir.
The CGI is shit in this, man.
It is. It mostly is shocking. But it is 20 years old.
I know.
It is 20 years old. So
they're actually parts over 20 years old, but they put the effort in.
Yeah, but they also had all the fucking money. So, you know. By the way, this flight is peak 2002. Full of skater boys, chains attached to wallets, fucking baggy jeans,
Led Zeppelin t-shirts.
Oh, fucking! I'm just surprised there was not a single Smash Mouth t-shirt on it.
I know.
We will. Yeah, we will come to shitty 90s fucking bands in a moment or two. We spot Isla Fisher. Right? Did you catch the character's name, by the way?
It was Mary
Jane, right? Which, of course, that's the joke. He's a stoner. He loves Mary Jane, marijuana. And you're right, John. She's blonde, right? She's blonde, and it does nought for me.
Nah, I prefer as a lovely
As
redhead.
a redhead, absolutely. Isla Fisher's born in 1976, so she's the same age today as Old Man Smithers was. You know her, of course, as Shannon Reed from Home and Away.
Yep.
As a pervy 25-year-old, John, I was delighted to have seen her boobs in Wedding Crashers.
Oh yeah, that was a highlight.
Imagine my disappointment and yours that's about to come when I found out it was a body double.
Alright, go to be man. She was
Yeah.
wouldn't have done it.
Anyway, Jane Seymour is miles hotter in that film anyway.
I
tell you what, Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman can prescribe whatever the fuck she wants for me. Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care that she's an inbreeder with 2 different coloured eyes.
Isla Fisher. Isla Fisher's written 7 kids' books, John, called Marge in Charge. Yeah, about a babysitter. 7 books. And of course, she's married to national treasure
Ali G.
Sacha Baron Cohen. Yeah, national treasure. We love.
I know.
Yeah, we love him. So she sits down, but she can't sit next to grandma because she's got allergies, which only flare up with dogs. Right? Mm-hmm. So he makes Scooby go away because there's a tart involved. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's this bit where Scooby Doo attacks a cat on the plane because dogs and cats. There's no doing. But he still does this in spite of the fact that he is a world-renowned detective.
Aye.
Monk's got his OCD. Columbo's got his dirty fucking Mac and cigars. And he's got what? He's fucking chasing cats. It just doesn't work for me on any level. I've never seen Scooby-Doo chase a cat at all.
Nah, never. I was too busy eating.
Might this have been around about the time of that Cats and Dogs film? Do you remember that?
Oh, God, aye, with Tobey Maguire.
What? Tobey Maguire? Oh, he was the little dog. He was the dog. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Jesus, that was fucking
there was a wealth of talent in that, the voice talent.
Eddie Izzard's in that, isn't he?
Aye.
Fucking hell. Oh, future episode question mark.
Just don't put it up to bloody patrons.
No, patrons are not allowed. I tell you what, if somebody gives us £100, we will let you pick all the films for the month of February. Give us £100 and you can pick all the films for the month of February. You can pick 4 cartoons for patrons episodes. Give us £100 and you can do it. There you go. Okay.
$100 million.
100 million. That'll do. Give us £100 and you can all fucking club together if you want. Just do it. Yeah, fucking do it. Anyway, just do it. Just fucking do it.
Daddy needs a Christmas night out.
Daddy needs pints in the Milburn. Your 2 daddies would need pints in the Milburn. Anyway. On Spooky Island, they've all arrived and they're greeted by some sort of tiki monster, which actually ends up being who, John?
Oh, it must have been
the vastly underutilised Rowan Atkinson.
Oh, God, aye. Yeah.
Rowan Atkinson, of course, car obsessed. He's got his heavy goods licence, apparently.
Wow.
He studied electrical engineering at Newcastle University and got his master's in it at Oxford. He also went to primary school in Durham with Tonty Blair. So, hangs around with fucking warmongers. So that's okay. But at least doesn't hang around with Tories. So I guess he's got that going for him. There was a bit about telling Scooby off, and someone said you need to flick him on the nose.
Yes.
I'd missed this. It was on the plane at some point. Smack it on the nose. You should not smack your dog on the nose, John. You've got 2 dogs. You should know that. Because it feels like a bee sting because the noses are really sensitive. But also, not only is it painful for dogs, but dogs don't learn through pain, so they don't understand why you're hurting them. So, listeners, if listeners and Patreons, if you harm your dog to get them to listen to you, keep your fucking money, keep your download. I don't give a shit. Fuck off. If you harm any kind of animal, other than in some sort of fake cartoon animal. In fact, don't harm Scooby Doos.
Aye.
Yeah.
Scooby don't.
Scooby
don't do that.
Scooby no do that. How? Scooby no.
I just feel as if I shout at the dogs all the time, but they still didn't pay any attention.
No, they don't understand. Be nice to them. He believes Rowan Atkinson, Montessori, or whatever he's called, believes that spells being cast on the students, changing them from rowdy, frosted-tipped, dreadlocked, baggy trousers, early 2000 wankers, to something out of a Dockers commercial. This guy, fresh off the plane, doesn't he? He's like, "Hey, Carol, remember me from school? How's the island?" And she basically doesn't recognise him. She picks him up and throws him with this monstrous strength, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's a bastard.
Yeah, she's a bit of a bastard. The gang say they're going to solve it themselves. All go individually and figure it out. That night, there's this thing, this Spookapalooza, right? Which made me think of a couple of things. It looked like the start of Woodstock 99, where everybody was doing great, right? I've seen that documentary, John, but fuck me.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I've seen it. Whoa, that is amazing.
Powerful nasty, that, by the way. And gotta say, right, I don't know if anyone else has seen this, but there was a couple of rapes, and they basically just mention it once. Oh, so someone's sexually assaulted. Yeah, and that's it. And that's like the mention at the end. Whereas those fucking guys should be, well, one guy's dead now, good. But those guys should all be in fucking jail.
Fred Durst is a fucking wanker as well.
Fred Durst has always been a piece of shit. Jonathan Davis comes out of it quite nicely. I mean, he's always come out of everything. He's a proper musician.
Norman Cook came out.
Get my car. Get my fucking car.
Right here. Fuck off. Right here.
But this Spookapalooza also made me think of that Malacca Lacca Friendship Board halftime show from Basketball.
Malacca, that's right.
We're introduced to two characters here. Ungu Tuana, right, who looks like a New Jersey version of the High Priest from Temple of Doom.
I thought.
I can't believe they put chilled monkey brains on their own floor. I was like, where have they nicked this from? And Zarkos, this Mexican luchador lad, basically.
No, yeah.
Who, again, is not a character at all.
It's not so it's like something to bloody Indiana Jones, that Dalima.
Well, he does. That's exactly what he looks like. Yeah, he looks like... Yeah, I wasn't into it at all. I went, of course, to my favourite wrestling podcast, Damn It Vince podcast. And, of course, friend of the podcast, Joe, who knows more about wrestling, forgotten more about wrestling than I'll ever know. He says this kind of style of wrestling from Latin America or Mexico, lucha libre, easily identified by its use of masks, fast-paced matches, and use of absolute batshit mental manoeuvres. There's a fun thing called estrellas or minis, which are tiny versions of established wrestlers that do full matches. So like little people.
Oh, right,
yeah.
Okay. Right.
The Blue Demon was the breakout star of old school lucha and starred in mad films such as Blue Demon versus Demonic Power and Santo and Blue Demon versus Dr. Frankenstein, which I have got to fucking see.
That sounds brilliant, actually. Sounds like a good laugh.
4 seasons of Lucha Underground, which is part Mexican teledrama, part wrestling. It's fucking amazing, he says, because it leans into the whole silliness of it all. The first season is, I will have the belt and show you all. And by season 3, there's a throne made of bones that has evil powers. It is fucking amazing. And I guess that this character is a reference to that, because when this guy is introducing him, he says star of Telemundo, doesn't he? So it's kind of like that's the joke, I guess. But thanks, Joe. We love you. I've missed recording with you. I haven't missed recording with John. He's a prick, but I've missed recording with you.
Arsehole. I love you, Joe. Arsehole.
He explains the creatures of the island have been antagonized by the theme park being built and shows Velma this monster in the flames, but she spots these holographic projectors because she's smart.
Yeah.
In this bar, I really wanted this barman, by the way, with the patch over his eye to be a character.
Oh,
but he's not, unfortunately. No. Like, he's got nothing. He's got like one line and a bit of a stare. And he's like, Mr. Do, I'm looking for a Mr. Do. And this kid stands up and says, Melvin Do?
I know.
And I did get a bit of a giggle out of that. And again, later on, I was like, no, he wants Mountain Dew. Of course, it's Scooby Doo that he wants. But I did think that Melvin Dew, I was like, it's me, your cousin, Melvin. Me, your cousin, Melvin. Or Marvin. I got this hot new sound for you. Yeah.
I thought he looked a bit like the Shermanator.
He did a little bit, didn't he? He looked like an actor. He's nobody. He's nobody. the voice at the end of the line for Scooby says, "We've got this bag of hamburgers if you walk into the dark, shadowy corner of the forest where no one can see." I'm like, okay. Shaggy isn't there to stop him because he's winning a shrunken head out of a claw machine for Isla Fisher.
I was looking at the claw machines. I was actually looking at the history. By the way, nobody knows who invented the bloody
They're a
thing.
night. Yeah, I did a bit on this, mate. Yeah.
I tried to, but the only thing, the earliest versions of the vending cranes were created around about the late 1800s in America, but nobody knows who, nobody knows why. So the later ones they do, but the earlier ones, nobody's got a bloody clue.
They were shovel based as well.
I
found out. So I was kind of like, oh, right, okay. In 1930s, they were invented. The version we know was invented by carnival operator William Bartlett, and a tabletop unit was painted in 1932. But I couldn't help thinking the shovel version. Do you think it was like the old 2-penny machines we get in UK arcades today? I love those. I could. In fact, I think when we went on holiday last before we went abroad, we spent loads of money on those just for japes, just for fun.
Oh yeah.
And
they're brilliant.
I've got to be honest. I think a few holidays ago, before we had the switches, we went on holiday to Cape Verde, and I bought, just for a laugh, because we used to watch it at Rachel's dad's on a Sunday, I bought the Tipping Point iPad game.
No way.
When we were on the flight home last week, we played Tipping Point. She fucking beat me every time.
Oh man, that's brilliant.
It's brutal, mate. It's like a Tipping Point quiz game for the iPad. Yeah, the questions are stupidly easy. Yeah. Anyway, not easy enough for me to not get it. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
A lot of laughs.
Fred told Shaggy to be like that. It was a waste of time to learn how to do the claw machine. It was a useless skill, and instead he should have learned French. And I loved the line, "I don't know what voulez-vous coucher avec moi means, but I love that song." I love that very much.
That was good.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi, John?
C'est moi.
Means, do you want to sleep with me tonight? Do you want to sleep with me tonight?
Oh yeah.
Strap yourself in for lots of Lady Marmalade facts. Song by Patti LaBelle from 1974, #1 in Canada, USA, and the Netherlands.
Again, those guys have got taste.
Now, I didn't know this, but it was covered in 1987 by Sabrina. Do you mind her, John?
Yeah, boys.
I'm looking for a good time. Barely hit the 40s in Europe. Like 38 in France, 40 in Belgium. Just didn't do anything. 1998, All Saints released it as a double A side with Under the Bridge, which I'd forgotten about. Really missed the fucking point of Under the Bridge, didn't they? That version of Under the Bridge fucking stinks.
No.
It made its #1 though in the UK because we had shit tasting music in '98. I think the Spice Girls gets #1 like 100 times or something.
There wasn't much going on.
Like, yeah, Britpop had just died, hadn't it? Sadly. Then in 2001, the big cover came out. Christina, Lyle Kim, that's one for the Cumbrians there, Maya, and Pinksclamation, which I think is how you pronounce her name. I'm pretty sure it is, from the Moulin Rouge soundtrack. Yeah, this one was huge everywhere, John. It was a massive seller everywhere. Hungary, Greece, Vanuatu, the disputed region, the not very democratic Republic of Congo. #1 everywhere.
Except?
No, it was #1 everywhere. It was literally #1 in every country in the world ever. There were so many. I thought we'd overkilled it, so I didn't do that. Yeah. But that was massive. I fucking hate that film, by the way.
I've never seen it.
Oh, there's like a God.
I couldn't go. I watched one with him and Cameron Diaz, and it was like a heartfelt thing, and I didn't like him in it, so I didn't want to watch him. Cameron Diaz and Ewan McGregor.
The Danny Boyle film.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, mate, that's much better than this.
No,
this is not a Danny Boyle film. This is your man, Strictly Ballroom, Australia. Romeo plus Juliet, Baz Luhrmann. This is your Baz Luhrmann. All style, no substance. Come at me, listeners. Come the fuck at me. Anyway. I like that line. Daphne goes to some shack, right? And there's this guy doing a voodoo ritual on a chicken. Yeah. Live and let die, it ain't, I'll tell you. Do you know what I mean? It is not. There's no Mayday here.
And it's just to get Jane Seymour back into the show.
That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is.
Live and let die.
Yeah, live and let die. Grace Jones, though, eh?
Aye. Hey. Hey.
I remember seeing. I've probably mentioned this 100 times. This is probably going to be my podcast. This podcast version of me banging on about Steve Wright in the afternoon on Everything We Learn from The Simpsons, which I do every episode. Tom always laughs and picks me up on it. But I remember seeing her when the Queen had her last Jubilee, the one before she died. There was like the 10 years before, and she was singing. Slave to the Rhythm and doing a hula hoop the whole time. And the hula hoop, she never lost the hula hoop once. She did it the whole time. She would have been like fucking 70 at the time.
Jesus.
She is an absolute fucking powerhouse of a human being. I love her.
Totally abnormal.
Love her.
She doesn't seem to get any older as well.
No, absolutely she doesn't. The joke here is that this guy's really American. Like he's from fucking, I don't know, Miami or something is the fucking joke. He tells her not to go to the castle and she thinks it's reverse psychology and heads up there. Scooby's in the forest grabbing the hamburgers from this palm tree. This monster comes behind him, climbs up the tree after him. He falls off the tree, and of course, the palm tree being a palm tree, catapults the monster away and back into the village. And again, that's the fucking joke. Scooby runs back to the village, and he's talking about the monster. Yeah, and basically, Shaggy thinks he means one of these capering characters in the costume at the theme park.
Yeah, because one of them runs out with one of these smiley mask looking things with the big eyes.
like a rabbit mask. Yeah, I didn't really get what's going on there. Daphne wants Scooby and Shaggy to go to the castle with her. They refuse. So she offers them Scooby snacks. Scooby, of course, goes all ninjutsu. And Shaggy says, "Hey, Hong Kong Phooey, watch the Fists of Fury, will you?" Mm-hmm. Remember Hong Kong Phooey, John?
Yeah, but I remember his alter ego, though.
Penry, the mild-mannered janitor. That's right.
Yeah.
16 episodes, John. Just 16.
Just 16?
How?
Christ.
Scatman Crothers was Hong Kong Phooey, or Penry, the mild-mannered janitor, at least until Jack Torrance put an axe between his shoulder blades.
Ooh.
Yeah. Also, a Hanna-Barbera character, which is how we shoehorn the reference in. Hanna-Barbera also made Tom and Jerry for MGM, the Smurfs, Yogi Bear, Top Cat, my personal favourite, the Flintstones, and I know people hate the Flintstones, but I think it's fucking brilliant still. Right. And Wacky Races.
Oh, remember that? Stop the Pigeon?
Yeah, Stop the Pigeon. Yeah. Well, see, and that's where I think Scooby Doo and Stop the Pigeon were like in the same thing. I seem to remember you'd get an episode of Scooby Doo, you'd get a Stop the Pigeon, and then you'd get another Scooby Doo.
Right.
But again, I might have been imagining that wrong.
Is that the Cartoon Cavalcade?
Yeah, that kind of thing, yeah. Of course, Hanna-Barbera, it no longer exists, but Warner's owns all those IPs, which is why we've had fucking two... Have you seen those Smurfs films, by the way? Brutal. Yeah, I've seen the first one. Absolutely brutal shit. Basically, inside this thing is a ghost train. All right? Fred and Velma are here already. Fred explains... that he and Daphne should work together, but Velma's not having any of it. So he agrees to go with Velma, meaning Daphne goes on her own and Scooby and Shaggy go and do whatever you do. And I was kind of like, okay, that's kind of funny. But this line I really liked because it underlined how bad Fred is at instructions. Daphne, you enter through the exit, and Velma and I will exit here through the entrance. I was kind of like, okay. Okay, I'll give you that.
I get it.
We've all had managers like that, right?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
Scooby and Shaggy, of course, find a table full of food. And Fred and Velma are being watched by this little person actor in a turban who starts the whole ride going.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, that, wasn't it?
So my theory on this is there's a mention at the end that Scrappy came in as one of the evil elves to audition as an evil elf. So is that what that's meant to be? Is that character meant to be an evil elf? All I could think was Phoenix Knights. How far away are they? A table full of food starts to kill Shaggy and Scooby Doo, including, by the way, these turkeys which open up like the guy's chest in the thing.
Yeah,
eats the doctor's arms.
And it had stringy bits of that.
Yeah, I was kind of like, oh, that's a little bit weird. A much better John Carpenter film than what I watched yesterday, by the way.
What did you watch?
I watched that new Halloween film.
Right, we'll pick this up later. I've got my...
What a load of fucking shit.
There's lots to talk about with that.
What a load. Listeners, if you liked it, it's okay. It's all right to like a film, but you're wrong. It was a load of fucking garbage. Oh, my God. It's like fucking Bonnie and Clyde. The Halloween years.
That's trying to get, man.
Anyway,
we'll
it's not even a fucking Halloween film, right? We'll talk about another film I watched this week that I fucking hated, and it wasn't this. Fred gets catapulted through this glass window into the control room, and he hits the lever, which turns off the ride. In the control room, there's all these school desks. The whole thing's being used for reprogramming the teens. And this video, which includes this acting explaining how teenagers should talk to one another. And basically, Velma says, wherever there's a cult leader and a Papa Smurf character. Okay, another reference to let's shoehorn other things in.
Yeah.
Fred suggests it's probably Montevarius. Meanwhile, Daphne finds a puzzle box, which she promptly steals, right? Have you seen the new Hellraiser yet, John?
Yes, I've seen it.
What did you think of the new Hellraiser, John?
Do you know what? It's, the Cenobites just look too clean and polished for me.
Yeah.
It was all right. Don't get me wrong, it was all right, but
do you know what? It was about 40 minutes too long, and halfway through it turns into a haunted house film. It turns into 13 ghosts partway through. Didn't it? What was going on?
I do like the effect when they appear, but yeah, it was too polished for me.
100%. But the internet has lost its fucking shit, of course, because Pinhead's now a woman. Right?
Yeah.
In spite of the fact that I never considered Pinhead to be anything other than just a fucking shape.
A demonic.
Like asexual. I could show you such delights, but not my knob because I don't have one.
That's exactly how I felt about this character, because his character was a demon. At the end of the day, it's not a man or woman, she's a demon.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
But although I was reading, and this is off topic, but I was reading about Hellraiser and the fact that the guy that plays Pinhead, he went to the rap party after the first one and nobody knew who he was.
All right, cool. I didn't know that.
It doesn't. His face doesn't physically look like Pinhead.
Doug Bradley, isn't it? Doug Bradley.
Like
I think he was pissed off that he wasn't asked to be in this one. But here's the thing, right? All of these films have been shit after the first one. The first Hellraiser is fucking disgusting and horrible.
Second one freaks me out as well.
Oh, okay, I can give you that one. But who is so invested in a film franchise that has been the biggest pile of diminishing returns for 30 years? It's just a way for fragile internet baby men to have a moan, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, but Pinhead isn't a woman. Oh, Hellraiser's gone woke. Hellraiser's always been fucking woke. That's the point. That's the joke, you know? Fucking hell. Have a day off, internet babies. Scooby and Shaggy have located the set from the brainwashing video.
I forgot we were talking about
this. And they do this silly burping and farting skit, which I was fine with, by the way, because it's a kid's film.
Yes.
Except it did make me think of those two French blokes from Vic and Bob, taking off their hats and going, Nicole, papa,
Well, I've got something for you here in regards to farting.
Oh.
So the current Guinness World Record for the longest fart is held by a guy called Bernard Clements in London. He managed to let off a continuous fart for exactly 2 minutes and 42 seconds.
Fucking hell.
2 minutes and 42 seconds.
I would have sharted myself.
Aye, I'd have done the same.
I wouldn't be able to do that. Christ on a bike. In the hotel, Montevarius approaches him, and Fred calls him Mr. Mononucleus. Mr. Mononucleosis, which is what I'm going to start calling Mono. By the way. Mononucleosis, John, or mono, is often called the kissing disease. I'm not kissing mono. The virus that causes mono is the Epstein-Barr virus, which just made me think about Roseanne Barr and Jeffrey Epstein at it.
Jesus Christ.
She's a bit old for him, though. And a bit alive, sadly. Sadly, Roseanne Barr isn't dead, but, we can hope. Piece of shit. It's spread through saliva. You can get it through kissing, but you can also be exposed to sharing a glass or food utensils with someone who has mono. However, mononucleosis isn't as contagious as some infections, such as the common cold.
Mono, I used to talk about it all the time in American programs. What is their equivalent? What is it called over here?
AIDS, probably. I assume.
Mono AIDS.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There are three suspects. The voodoo guy, which it just is racist for a start, is just really fucking racist because he's black, but he's a really nice man. Mr. Monteverius himself, and your man Kalimar Shuktier is the other one.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Kalimar in here. Velma's going to work on the puzzle box. Fred's going to interview people. And Daphne's going to research cults on the internet and then probably make a podcast about it.
Yep, as you do.
Because she's a white girl, and that's what they do. At the bar, Velma's working on this puzzle box, and she's explaining to this guy in the Led Zeppelin t-shirt that she likes puzzles and clues. It reminds her of the old days. And we flash back to the Mystery Machine, right? And the gang drive in, listening to God Only Knows by the Beach Boys. Now, much better scene with this song at the end of Boogie Nights. Love that. I'd love to do an episode on Boogie Nights, but we've got to have like a guest from the adult industry. So if anybody out there works in the adult industry and you want to do an episode of it, it could be hilarious. It could be hilarious and disgusting. So porn stars, reach out to us. Or if you're a beach boy that's not dead yet, reach out to us. That would be good too. But this song, God Only Knows by the Beach Boys, double A side with Wouldn't It Be Nice, also a great song, and is off one of my favourite albums, Pet Sounds. Number 2 in the UK in 1966. John, that was the last time what?
England had a proper team.
There you go. There you go.
Why is it always going to come in 1966?
It was kept off the number 1 spot, that song, John, by Yellow fucking Submarine.
Submarine? Oh, Jesus.
What a do you know what? I'd have gone to fucking bed. If it's almost like us being kept off the top of the charts by, I don't know, fucking film floggers or something. Do you know what I mean? I would take to my fucking bed if that happened and never get out of bed again. So, Scrappy Doo is here, right? Everyone's again, that's the joke. Everyone's least favourite character out of Scooby Doo, but I don't remember hating Scrappy Doo that
hated
much.
Him.
Did you?
I hated him every time he was on the screen. It just fucking annoyed me.
Okay, he's very excitable and he pisses all over Daphne. And he explains he's going to be the leader or he's out of here. They kick him out of the van and leave him 6 miles from Yucca Flats.
Yeah.
Did
you look up?
I did. Yucca Flats, one of 4 major nuclear test regions within the Nevada test site. The main Yucca Flat is located at the eastern edge of the Nevada test site, 65 miles from Las Vegas. And it is made up of a number of craters from underground nuclear tests, the final test of which took place in 1992.
Is that the one that blew Harrison Ford in the refrigerator?
Oh, fuck, yeah. Or Eric Bernard under the table when he turned into a green monster. I really like that Ang Lee Hulk. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I got a lot of soft spot for that Ang Lee Hulk.
I like Nick Nolte, isn't the character in it?
God damn Nick Nolte! The fucking turning into some sort of metal creature! Ah! Sexiest man alive, 1992. Nick fucking Nolte, the state of him.
Fucking hell, man.
How desperate were we for good-looking leading men back in 92?
Jesus.
Anyway.
92?
Yeah, 92. He would have been 100 then. Back in today, Velma's hammered from drinking these cocktails. Scooby spots a monster through the window, causes a huge kerfuffle, hiding under the table. And Fred explains it's the most embarrassing he's been since he cleaned his beans at Don Knotts' Christmas party. Right. So, I couldn't find anything about Don Knotts' Christmas parties at all. But Don Knotts did a lot of those Disney live-action films in the 60s. And he was Sheriff Barney Fife on the Andy Griffin Show, where he won 5 Emmys, apparently. My favourite reference to that, of course, is on The Simpsons, where Charles Bronson guest stars. I'm going down Emmett's Fix-It shop to fix Emmett. Do 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 do. Anyway, Fred's explaining to everyone at the hotel there's no such thing as monsters, just as this huge monster jumps through the window. Now, the monster kind of design, I didn't hate. Like, I didn't hate it, but it didn't grab me. Do you know what I mean? It didn't grab me in any way, the monster design, but I didn't hate it. It was okay. It has this awful breath, which knocks Fred out and does the same to Velma.
Yep.
Now, there's this bit where Scooby's hiding under a suitcase and the monster's chasing him. This music, by the way, was like some sort of knockoff magic dance.
It was,
wasn't it?
Was.
You remind me of the guy with the voodoo, hoodoo, you do. Oh, what? Mm-hmm. Shaggy, Scooby, and Daphne escape out of a window, landing on this canopy below them, which saves them. But the monsters jump through and fall through the canopy because they're much heavier, although they don't look particularly heavier. The next scene, we see the monsters taking the teenagers away. Daphne explains to Shaggy it's their turn to figure it out because Fred and Velma usually do it. So they follow the monsters. Isla Fisher calls the Coast Guard, who says they're going to send somebody. But then for some reason, it goes all green and they do a sinister laugh. And we'll get you on the pier. They wake up the next morning on the beach. The hotel's been fixed up. And these kids are playing volleyball on the beach. Everything's normal. But then the most disgusting monsters in the whole film show up, John. The 90s band Sugar Ray. I mean, who the fuck was this music for?
I know.
Sugar Ray, you listeners, you all want me to talk about this dog shit excuse for musicians, but I'm going to talk about their biggest hit in the UK, 1999's Every Morning. Every morning when my girlfriend puts the bed. Number 3 in the US, number 10 here, and number 17 in Australia. Now, it made gold in the US and gold in Australia. Now, here's a fact. To get a gold record in America, you've got to hit 500,000 sales. To get a gold record in Australia, you need just 35,000 sales.
Wow.
But of course, it's based on proportional population, isn't it?
Yeah,
Australia's like 22 million people, and America's got, I don't know, fucking 100 million racists or something.
Yeah. Per capita.
Yeah. Yes, correct. Absolutely. Daphne spots the lead singer's got green monster eyes. And I think also that lead singer's probably been cancelled for something now, but it's going to happen to all of us. I'm next. Shaggy and Scooby find Fred, who's all of a sudden this frat bro, this wife beater and board shorts. Mm-hmm. He breathes green breath on them and chases them. Meanwhile, Daphne loses the puzzle box to fucking Nacho Libre here.
Nacho Libre.
Yeah. At this point, John, I think it's probably the right time for me to offer you a little quiz.
Oh, fudge.
It's been a while. You missed these, haven't you?
No.
This quiz, John, is called Scooby Doo or Scooby Don't.
Okay.
Now, Scooby Doo, there's fucking hundreds of crossovers and most are utterly mental. All right? But are they more mad than what I can come up with? So you need to tell me if it's a real Scooby Doo or a made up Scooby Don't. Got that?
Right, okay.
Okay, you got 5. Number 1, Scooby Doo meets the Loch Ness Monster.
Scooby Doo.
Correct. Scooby Doo meets Kiss. Rock and Roll Mystery.
Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo meets Frankenhooker.
Oh, Scooby Don't.
Correct. Scooby Doo meets Frankenstein. Absolutely, but Frankenhooker's a very different film. Scooby Doo meets the Winchester Brothers.
Scooby Don't.
Oh, John, Scooby Doo from an episode of Series 13 of the show Supernatural.
Oh, you're joking
me. No, I'm not. Number 5, Scooby Doo meets the Harlem Globetrotters.
Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo, yeah. Loch Ness Mess and the Mystery of Haunted Island. There you go. How
Done.
would you like them apples? Okay. Hiding in a barn, Scooby and Shaggy find these quad bikes. They pick up Mary Jane, who, as they're escaping, gets a tree branch to the face, and her face stretches out and her eyes go green. Scooby sees this, but Shaggy doesn't. Scooby tries to tell him. They have an argument. Scooby falls down this vent into an underground cave. Shaggy heads in to get him because best friends don't quit, as we knew from the start. He stumbles on the Temple of Doom set, which, for some reason, has that thing out of Dumbledore's fucking office that keeps all the memories in.
Yeah, so it does.
It also had some stalactites and stalagmites, John. You're right. You got a system. And in this fucking Dumbledore's office thing is like this creepy, uncanny valley. Now, I've written souls, but they call it like fucking ectospunk or something. Yeah. Velma's flies out of away and into her body. And when it gets inside, the monster in her flies out and explodes because of the sunlight. Fred's does the same, but mistakenly lands in Daphne's body, and Daphne's lands in Fred's.
Oh, what a kerfuffle this turned out to be.
Doesn't it just? Shaggy turns up with a puzzle box, and the puzzle box is the one thing that causes the souls to all switch times. Now, Lillard's acting in this bit is amazing because his mannerisms are absolutely Fred. They're really good. Yeah, it's again another great example of it. On the beach, the voodoo chap explains that there's going to be a darkopolypse ritual. And once they have all the souls, the monsters can live for 1,000 years, but they need a pure soul. I think Velma says something like, what pure human soul or whatever. It's not a pure human soul. It's going to be Scooby's soul. In Monteverius' office, Scooby's there. He explains that they all love Scooby, but the Shaggy and the gang don't, and that they want him to be a sacrifice. Scooby's convinced that sacrifice is a good thing. The gang have a heart-to-heart about basically working together and being a team. They agree to save him with this prepping montage. So in the Temple of Doom, they put this mirrored disco skull up on the fucking thing, and they plan to open all the vents and let all the souls out. Shaggy doesn't attach the rope right. The bowl of souls, instead of falling over, he goes up and gets catapulted around and all this kind of stuff. All the brainwashed teens come across for the start of the ceremony. Fred and Velma are pretending to know the dance moves, but it's obvious that they don't, and all the teens spot them. Monteverius takes the puzzle box off them, and Scooby gets brought in like C-3PO on his Ewok chair, doesn't he?
Mm. So he does.
Today, Toa. C-3PO. Shaggy is one of the guys carrying him in disguise, and he explains they're best buddies and they should trust one another. They're about to dash when Jersey Ma Shook the takes Scoob's soul out using this fucking
soul sucker.
Soul sucker, yeah, exactly. Monteverius has got the puzzle box on his chest, and it allows him to hoover up all the souls, the spirits. Shaggy knocks Monteverius off of a ledge, and it frees Scoob's soul and allows it to go back in Scooby Doo. Fred takes the mask off Monteverius, and it's basically a robot skull, but in his chest cavity is who?
Scrappy bastard.
Scrappy bastard do, your favourite. He jumps out, starts turning into this fucking hench Scrappy, doesn't he? Like he's fucking Arm Day.
Yeah, sure it is.
All he needs now is the soul of Scooby Doo. Scooby says, "Don't you mean Melvin Doo?" Who's like stood next to him. And I was like, okay, funny. Yeah, I'll give you that one. Nice callback. As part of the fight, Scooby grabs hold of Kaiju Scrappy's nose hairs, doesn't he? Which causes it to sneeze this fucking green snot everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting, is what it is. We sneeze when our nose hair is pulled, John, due to an irritation of the nose, which leads the nerves to signal to your brain to sneeze. So it's possible the nerve is being stimulated when you're pulling a hair out. Nose hair, of course, is an important part of your body's defense system. It helps keep dust, allergens, and other small particles from entering your lungs. Removing too much hair may make you more sensitive to this kind of debris. Plucking hairs can also lead to irritations, infections, and ingrown hair.
What? So just keep them then?
Keep them. Yeah, I know. Just curl them. Kirsty will like that more. Meanwhile, on the surface above them, Daphne's fighting Rey Mysterio. She kicks him through the vent and into the soul spunk pot, which causes them all to fly out and into the bodies. The monsters pop out, and the sun plus the mirror ball causes all the monsters to explode. Very Gremlins 2, the new batch.
No, it really is, wasn't it?
Yeah. As everyone's celebrating, there's some hammering from some hole in the ground. And when Shaggy opens the lid, it's Monteverius. But he looks like Saddam Hussein when they found him hiding in the sewers after Gulf War II, didn't he?
Looks about totally dishevelled. Longest hair ever.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is going to miss, guy?
He explains Scrappy trapped him down there and basically took on his persona. Here's the Coast Guard and the news reporters. Fred offers Velma the chance to explain how she solved it, and they then agree to work together. The end.
Wow.
Post-credit sequence, by the way, of Scooby and Shaggy eating hot peppers at the dinner table. It was cute, but it was unremarkable.
I know.
It feels like a deleted scene, doesn't it?
Yeah, just slap that one.
Yeah,
keep the Waynes happy.
Yeah, well, let's keep it over 80 minutes, I think was what it was, for a cinematic release. I think that's all my facts, John. While I just scroll back through to see if I've missed anything, have you got any more?
Yep. So a guy called Don Messick voiced Scooby Doo from 1969 to 1994,
Mm-hmm.
a long time. Zed Zeppelin were an English rock band formed in 1968 by Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, and John Bonham.
No relation.
Um,
John Bonham.
none. none. Did you actually get a high-end holographic projector
Oh,
at a cost of $50,000?
wow. Right. Okay. Is that how you get Tupac to show up at your
That's
your
it,
concert?
exactly. That's how you get a two pack.
Okay.
50,000 just for a two pack. So I was looking at haunted houses. There's actually a haunted house. This really blew my mind. So there's somewhere called McKimmy Manor, which is considered as a pioneer of extreme haunted attractions. It was founded in San Diego by Russ McKimmy and was originally located as his property. So he basically turned his house into a haunted house.
All right. Wow. Okay.
This is one of the best haunted houses in the world. So some anthropologists estimate that voodoo's roots formally began in Dawn, West Africa, and date back 6,000 years.
Cool.
And Scrappy Doo was created in 1979, and they shouldn't have fucking bothered.
Voodoo, of course, is also closely linked with cottage cheese, as everybody knows. Everybody knows. Brilliant stuff. John, how many do you think we got?
72.
Higher.
73.
Higher.
82.
Oh, 81. 81.
Oh,
Your little man went over the edge there, unfortunately, which is not a euphemism, but also might be a euphemism. Who knows?
Well done, man. That was all right, considering that
absolutely.
was annoying as fuck.
Yeah,
Thanks,
well,
Patreon.
I had a great time with it. I thought it was, as I say, it's probably the best film I've watched this week.
Jesus Christ, man.
Patrons,
what shit have they got to watch?
Thank you very much for picking that one. Lovely patrons, of course, we have got my fantastic, wonderful wife, Rachel, who has picked next week's episode. I've allowed her to pick next week's episode. I say I've allowed her. She's been bugging me for fucking donkeys about this. So I'm going to tell you now, John, next week we're doing a Halloween spooktacular special on Manhunter.
Manhunter?
When was the last time you watched Manhunter?
Jesus Christ,
Same.
it's been a while.
Long time. Been a while.
Oh, loved it though.
It's a great film. It's a great film. So Rachel, thank you very much for picking that one and for being as helpful as always. Right, SP Film viewers. Last weekend we missed Paul's stag do, John, because I was busy flying back from Cyprus.
Oh.
Otherwise we would have gone. So I hope you had a great time, mate. And they will be. I think they get married on Saturday, you know. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they're a week from getting married. Yeah, but they put it back 100 times, if you remember.
In Scotland, we need 3 months between stag do and weddings.
You need 3 months between fucking stag do and weddings, which let's see how that works out. And as I'm going to get invited to both the stag do and the hen do, I am looking forward to. I fucking better. Anyway,
you bloody are.
I'm going to get a dress for it. Right. Anyway, yours that is. SP Film Viewers, lovely couple doing reviews. So we can't wait to see your wedding photos. Mono and Kira, Mono Severius and Kira from Mono Rants. Right, what the fuck went on while I was on holiday, John, with Mono and Kira?
They gave me an invite. I took the invite. We ran with it and had such a rare tear. Still don't know what Kira looks like, but I'm assuming with that pretty voice, she's sultry, dark-headed.
Hi, man. Irish, I would assume redhead. So anyway, who knows? But she doesn't look like fucking Pharaoh Nuff. Mono with his fantastic Pharaoh beard. But you had a great episode, by the way, with those on theirs, talking about Underworld, which we're never going to do.
Yeah, because you wouldn't date with me.
I've got a fucking rare slag in there, by the way. Listeners, if you like to hear me slagged off, which I know you do, that's why you fucking listen, then get on Mono Rants and John talking about that. It's great fun.
You were all the C words of the day.
Ken, good, love it. Nigel at Wonder Emporium on Facebook and Etsy. Thank you for your money. Dan and Gavin Belson. Oh, we've had some good politics chat in the group chat, haven't we? With Gavin
we still have.
And Josh. Yeah, it's been good fun.
It's all been kicking off. Yeah. No, it's good chat though. It's good chat.
Get on their podcast. It is lots of fun. Aaron from Z1 Podcast. It's been a couple of weeks since I spoke to Aaron, and Aaron sorry. I'm going to message Aaron actually and find out how he's doing. It's just with holidays and all that kind of stuff. They do an audio drama about being married and fighting zombies and ice cream vans. It's a lot of fun. Joe from Hallmark of Greatness. You know him. He is a lovely man. He's been on twice. He's already given us some great shit for this episode. So thanks for that, mate. Punk from What the Fuck Do You Want? And Filthy's Elden Ring Stings. Filthy's just finished Elden Ring. And what I would like them to do is to reverse it. I want Filthy to host the show while Punk plays through. That's what I want to happen. I haven't said that they should do that, but they should fucking do that. Punk, you need to start playing at your copy of Elden Ring now, and Filthy needs to be interviewing you about it. That would be good. Josh Wilson, super familiar with the Wilsons. Lovely, lovely people. I am so far behind on podcasts after this holiday, so I've got some catching up to do. 2 weeks worth of Wilsons. Gadget, Stig, and Biggie from Modern Escapism. Next month is going to be Biggie on talking about Ice Pirates when we can fucking nail him down. Not in a sexual way, maybe in a sexual way. He's a hunker burning love. But yeah,
Hunger.
He is
hunger,
indeed.
Hunger.
He is indeed. But they're all great. Get all over their spoopy season, by the way, because although I don't like us doing spooky stuff, I like when other people do. Ian and Maria from Cult Connections podcast still talking about Andor. And your man Trevor from EastEnders is in it. We quite like him.
Oh God,
Trevor from EastEnders is in Andor, yeah. Without his knob out, disappointingly. Ian, of course, we know is a lovely lad, and Maria is just a wonderful human being as well. So we like when when those two get together and talk about blue milk. Ian, Gav, thank you so much, my Scottish brothers, for also. Give us something to fucking plug. Create something.
Nah,
Gav, you did that kilt walk. It was great, and hopefully we got you a bit of extra money. But yeah, Ian, you're just a wonderful human being. Give us something to plug. Very much so. That's it, patrons. If you want to get involved in that and voting and all this extra content that we've got, it's going to cost you £1 a month. Just do so. If you're overseas, it'll tell you what it's going to cost you, but it's probably like $2, like €1.50 or something. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Pennies. Please do, because we're going to put that money towards a good use of some sort. Who knows what we're going to do with it. John, any last words as you take a drink from your massive can of Stella Artois?
Oh, I'd just like to wish our patrons the best, because they make my life so much easier watching these lovely, lovely films. I'm sure that deep inside you think to yourself, let's just ruin John's day. We'll just do it every bloody week. See, any time you give these people votes, every time they pick the shittiest film.
Okay.
But and our listening guests, thanks for listening, guys. We love you.
thanks for listening and not giving us money. Give us money so you can upset John too. It would be great.
Pay us money that way you can take the piss out of me then.
Absolutely, yeah. Or be married to me and then you just get your own fucking choice of episodes anyway. But which we've got on standard def DVD behind us, I think. So I'll be watching that tonight. Right, lovely. Thank you very much, listeners. You we love you really. Some of the time, but we'll be back next week with, I want to say, episode 93 or something. Fucking hell, we're so close to fucking the crowing in. I can taste it.
I know,
but
I don't even need to watch it. It's in my head. It's burning my brain. Make you fart big time.
We'll be back next week with that. But for now, he's been John. I've been Planty, and this has been 81 things inexplicably we learned from Scooby Dooby. Don't. See ya.
See you guys.